looks like we're live. We should be live. Let me know. Let me drop the open on you guys here. Boom.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation.
Yes.
Lifestyles of the Locked and
Subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell so you can be notified. All right, let's see. Can we get... Wait, where's Babyface? Got to get Babyface in here.
Right here.
There we go. Can we get Jazz Hands going? There we go, Jazz Hands. All right, I hope you got your big girl panties on. Because we are live, and this is episode 403 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. Coming to you live from the Hank Strange Media Studios in Gainesville. And our special guest tonight, there he goes, Jared from Guns and Gadgets. What's up, Jared? What's going on, man?
How you doing, man? Nice to have the opportunity to talk to you like this. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yes, it's good to have you here, man. We've spoken before, but I've been meaning to get this conversation in, get to know ya, so to speak. So thanks for coming on. We've also got Babyface P. There he goes. The man, the myth, the legend.
That's right.
He just started a Facebook page today after lots
Hank
of
made me do it.
forcing. Yes. And
It's
doesn't
there.
it feel
You can
better?
go find it.
No, come on.
It's out of the way now.
How do
It's
people
over.
find it? How do people find it?
I assume you just search for Babyface P on Facebook and it'll pop up. There's nothing on it. You'll see a picture of me, but
Okay.
I'll have to start putting out content and I don't know.
Yes. Can you please...
Cross-posting when videos come out and do things like that.
Yes. Okay. So let's see. Of course, like I said, this is episode. What did I say the episode number was?
403.
403. We've got Jared from Guns and Gadgets, but also we're going to talk about Chris Cox, the number 2 at the NRA.
Yeah.
Yeah, heads are falling.
Getting the old chopper.
We're
on
wrong. As far as I can tell, the wrong heads have fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about a bunch of other things in here, whatever you guys want to talk about. Hopefully I think we're getting out there, right? There's no issues.
No, everything looks good. I
with the
checked.
broadcast. Okay, yeah, people aren't going to another thing because I think I started the wrong thing. So hopefully no one went over to that.
You got it right.
Yeah. All right. Good. Every now and then. I get it right. So welcome to everyone. Come on in. We're sponsored by Franklin Armory. Thanks to the guys from Franklin Armory for helping us be able to put on the show. I also want to tell everyone, please, thumbs ups. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, all that kind of stuff. Shout out to everyone. I'm sure we'll have some folks coming in here from Guns and Gadgets. But if you don't know about Guns and Gadgets, you should be up on it. Get up on the YouTubes and subscribe right now, Babyface.
I need to because I'm
Get
not,
on your.
and
This
I'm gonna go do that.
is your opportunity right now. We got Jared here. This is the opportunity. Let me see. I've got. Okay, we're already subscribed. Everyone get on there. Here, let's see. I'll throw this. I should be able to throw this in the. There we go. Guns and Gadgets. That's what it looks like. It looks like you're at 95,540. You just need 500 more subscribers, Jared, and you're gonna be 100,000, bro.
5,000.
That's it. It's been a struggle. Man.
I'm sorry.
The rocket to 94,000. Wait.
Wait.
Good, but,
Okay. Yeah. 50. Wait.
change.
Hold on. What is it? Yes. It's
5,000.
It's well. Okay.
5,000.
4,500 technically. Yeah. This
It's
is
been a
why,
long week. Don't worry about it.
This is why Lola is in charge of the numbers.
God.
This is why. And when Lola's here, lots of things don't happen, right? As we're going through right now, Lola's in Texas, so I think tomorrow her brother is graduating from Sergeant Major School and becoming a Sergeant Major in the Army.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Congrats.
Yes, congratulations to him. I don't know. She's probably not even watching the show, so we could talk bad about her if we want to. And we will do that. But yes, okay, so about 4,500, right, man? And you're at 100,000.
Yeah, man. I never ever thought I would get to where I am, and a lot of us say that, but legit, I started this with my son on an iPhone 4 in the basement, and here we are.
iPhone 4. Okay, when was that?
That's been some years then.
Yeah.
Well, it was his phone.
Yeah.
But it's, we're about 3.5 years, almost 4 years.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah.
That's good growth.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
well, I'm still shocked that people listen to me flap my gums, so I'm just thankful for every review I get.
Yeah, man, just keep doing it. I think I started with an iPhone 3, so maybe a couple of years before you. Good old iPhone 3. Remember that thing?
Hey, they work. I still shoot stuff with an iPhone sometimes, so it still works.
Yeah, that was the first one that had, like, to me, good. What I was waiting for was when they put a good camera in there. And then I didn't do iPhone 1 or 2, but 3, I was like, oh, I'm getting up in this. So I'm
Well,
on,
now
like,
they shoot 4K, so that's good.
yeah, I think I'm on the X now. Or
Yeah.
Babyface is going to try to correct me and tell me it's 10, whatever.
No, I have an X.
Yeah, okay.
I call it
X.
the X.
Yes, we call it. Are you still with Apple stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty much all I use. I've been ever since high school. I've been using Apple for graphic arts, so that's pretty much all I roll
Okay,
with.
cool. But are you still shooting with the cell phones, or you got, like, all sophisticated cameras and stuff like that?
I got all kinds of stuff now, but if I'm out and about and something hits quick, then it's typically the iPhone I'll grab. But I have, I don't know if you can see it off screen, but that's a 4K camera that it cost me way too much
boom.
money.
Oh, you got the halo light. Look at you, man. You're fancy.
Yeah, I saw that on some teenager's Instagram.
That's how you do it, man. Just do whatever the kids are doing. That's the basic. We just got Babyface to get a camera. He was refusing.
Finally. No 4K though. I'm not doing 4K. I'm sticking with 1080 for now. Eventually, I'll switch over to 4K.
Your camera has.
I'm holding on.
Yeah, your camera has. Well, okay, those cameras are
It
not
has
really
the
4K.
capabilities,
Right? Yeah.
but it's not as good.
Yeah, your
File
camera
size is ridiculous.
Yeah, your camera is real
that's the other
4K,
thing is
Jared.
I have 3 hard drives on my desktop, and I'm already, like, filling those up. I can only imagine using 4K and just trashing my hard drives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're gonna have to then get a really powerful computer. Apple's desktop sucks. That trash can nonsense.
My render time takes forever as well. So
yeah,
because I'm running a 3rd gen i7, so it's fairly old. So my render times are pretty slow. So I can only imagine, again, 4K render times would I'd have to leave it all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just stepped up. I got the iMac Pro.
Okay.
I'm leasing it. I didn't buy it. I'm leasing it. I can't.
Okay.
Big dog.
I was gonna say, man.
Well, how much was that thing? Those things are expensive. The new one that's coming out starts at is it $6,000 or $7,000? Yeah.
Yeah, $6,000.
Oh God.
But I tell you, I've been using a MacBook Pro for the last couple of years, and this thing makes that look like a Windows 95 machine.
Yeah.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah. So let's see here. A couple of things I want to do. Okay, everyone coming in, please smash the thumbs. We got over 100 people watching us live. Let's get the thumbs ups going here. We'll jump into the NRA thing after we get to know. Let's get to know Jared first. Let's do that, and then we'll jump into that and we'll talk about it. But come on, let's get those thumbs ups going, for crying out loud. And if you hate us, if you're a FUD out there, you don't want to hear us talking about the NRA, go ahead. You can thumbs down or whatever, you know. If you're out there responding to some stupid ass challenge and you want to harass us, hit the thumbs down too. I don't give a crap. Whatevs. Doesn't really matter to me.
You don't have your trolls aren't as bad as Mac's trolls. Last night was ridiculous.
Yeah, Mac is also mega huge. This was what happens.
Yeah, that's true.
This is what happens when you get it. Listen, people think that it's easy to be one of the big dogs out there. No,
Not at all. No,
Yeah.
those guys. When I started meeting them and talking to them, with some of the stuff they go through, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. All right, let's get to know Jared. He's on his way. He's going to be one of the big dogs soon. He's taking over the gun tubers. So, how did you give us the rundown on who you are, how you started doing this? What kind of stuff you make videos about?
Sure. So a little bit about me. I am a police officer here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, which is not gun friendly. And I've always been a gun guy since I've been growing up. My grandfather was a hunter, so I was exposed to it at a young age. And even in the early part of my career, I was always that guy who stayed up on firearms and laws, and they changed here in Massachusetts overnight. So long story short, I got hurt and was out for shoulder surgery, getting my shoulder repaired. And while I was out, I decided to answer my buddy's question on some gun laws on a video, this new thing called YouTube. And it just kind of took off. I started my channel like most of us, wanted to shoot and do reviews on cool stuff. And when I realized how much that cost, I started to do more of the Second Amendment stuff, because that's where my passion is. I was in the military. I take my oath extremely seriously. And if it violates the Second Amendment, then I pretty much call it out on my channel. Mm-hmm. One thing I try to do is I try to follow every state. It's tough, But in my point of view is, if something's happened in California, it'll happen in Massachusetts. And if it happens here, it will happen where you live. And we see that now with the red flag law. I've been talking about the red flag for about two and a half years now. So my idea is to keep everybody on the same page no matter where we live in the country, because as a stronger, united voice, we can get more done. It's harder for them to, to attack certain states and then let it snowball across the country. So that's kind of what I try to do, to try to be that canary in the coal mine type deal. And through my career, I was able to make a lot of positive connections, some of them who are in DC. So I get some heads up on stuff coming down the pike. And then here in Mass, I usually get the heads up on laws before they drop too, and I try to get those to the people so they can make calls and contact their representatives and do whatever needs to be done.
So you're still serving as a police officer, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I don't know how much you're allowed to get into that. Probably, do you get into that at all deeply?
I tend not to talk too much about where I work, but I don't enforce illegal laws. I'll put it that way.
Amen. There's lots of us out here that appreciate that. And then when you were serving in the military, what branch were you in?
I was U.S. Navy, and I was part of the Military Downsizing Act that was signed when I was in boot camp. And because I had asthma, they sent me home with a medical honorable discharge, and that's why I went to the police field.
Okay, cool. So Massachusetts, huh? Man,
yeah.
There's just so much there, Patrick. I don't know where to start.
Laura Healy, yeah.
I mean, this is like one of the places where freedom started. Not easy.
Has now decided to die there as well.
Yeah, it's
trying.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they're trying the hardest, man.
Yeah. So, how is that? Being a Second Amendment guy, trying to fight for the
tough.
Second Amendment. Yeah.
It's tough, but at least being in the job I'm in, I've come to find this out for myself because I doubted it. There are more people in law enforcement that are with us, those of us who love our freedom, than are against it. There should be more. There shouldn't be people who are willing to violate what the Constitution says, but there are more of us than most people think.
Yeah,
I've wondered that because you see, I guess with the media optics, they focus on quote unquote anti-gun, not just cops, but sergeants and chiefs and things like that. What's his name here in Florida, down in where the Parkland thing happened, who's totally anti-gun. So I feel like you hear more about cops that are anti-gun, but yeah, I guess it makes sense that most of them would be pro Second Amendment at least.
Yeah, I would.
Well, the chiefs and sheriffs. Sorry to cut you off.
No. Go ahead.
Well, the chiefs and sheriffs mostly, especially the big cities like your Miamis, your Bostons, your LAs, your Detroits, they're all political appointees. So the necessary evil.
So dirty to me.
Yeah, the necessary evil is you bow down. It shouldn't happen, but they bow down to their appointees.
If you want that job, right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's why you'll never see me in a top shot.
Yeah, that seems so dirty to be elected, or to not even be elected, to just be appointed by whomever is in charge at the time.
Yeah. It's I forgot what I was gonna say before.
That's what happens.
Totally.
It's Thursday. You got one more day. You better stick in there.
Right out of the, okay, you know what I was gonna say? I'm gonna say it's probably 75% of the guys out there are in that zone. I don't know if you think it's less or more, maybe 60, 70%, but I think it is more guys. And there's lots of guys that are police officers that are fans of mine and fans of lots of the guys like us who are out there fighting for the Second Amendment, talking about guns and things like that. I hear from those guys, meet those guys all the time. I think it's a lot of people. There are some people who are in there that they're anti-gun, but they have guns. I'm not sure what the deal is there.
Some people are, it's good enough for, it's not good for thee, but it's good for me. And it's a pretty terrible attitude to have.
Yeah. So when you come across those cops that are anti-gun, do you just go, okay, I gotta ignore this dude, or do you try to talk to them?
I try to educate them. Try to show them the light. But I don't know. Sometimes you just can't get through people. I could sit down with Michael Bloomberg and tell him everything the way it should be, but he ain't gonna listen. He's just not gonna listen. So there are people like that out there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You were talking about red flags. I'm trying to find this because Greg Pruitt is going to be on tomorrow. I don't know if you know Greg Pruitt. He is.
Haven't met him yet.
Yeah, he. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to pull this up here so I don't mess it up. He's Idaho Second Amendment Alliance.
Yep.
So he and he's in Washington right now trying to talk to the politicians up there, and he actually has audio. It's on YouTube of him talking to Rubio about red flags. I promised him I was going to share that today, and then I totally forgot. So
Well,
I'm going to definitely.
You know,
talk
Rubio.
about it now. Yeah.
Rubio authored a red flag.
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
so.
so that's the thing. So it's really, I'm gonna figure out if there's a way to pull this up here, and then we can listen to it because it's not super long. He's gonna be here tomorrow to talk about it, by the way. So let me see. I'll find his YouTube channel. I'll at least throw it up here so everyone can see that, and then you guys could go on your time and listen to it. But he had an interesting conversation with Rubio. Yeah, and Rubio authored red flag laws. You know, so.
And he. The thing with that audio, because Hank shared it with me earlier, he unapologetically authored red flag laws. It's like, oh well, there's due process, and then the guy's like, no, there's not. There's no due process. You just take their guns away, and for 15 days, there's nothing you can do. They're not arrested. He's like, well, we added some financial burdens in case it's a frivolous lawsuit or frivolous case. It's like that doesn't matter. That's gonna take a year, 2 years.
You're taking away someone's Second Amendment.
That's crazy. There's no.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. That's the problem that a lot of people don't see in the red flags. Is if you don't read these bills, then you don't know the whole story. So like the politicians, they just have their aide write some stuff, they throw in some key points, and then they go and parade it and try to pass it. But if you focus on it and you study it, the red flags. So put it this way: I had an argument with one of the highest lawyers in the state about 3 weeks ago about the red flag, and her point was that due process is allowed because you do get to go to a judge, whatever it is, 3 days, 4 days, 5, 15 days sometimes in some states. But my point is where's the due process when they're violating your rights? If you have to, and I heard a great, Chris Ann Hall was at an event with her this past weekend, and her quote that I love it. If you have to violate my rights to do your job, then you're the criminal. If you are okay with violating due process just to get your point or to force your agenda, you're the problem. So there are 4 federal red flag bills right now, not just Rubio's. There's 4 of them. Lindsey Graham did one, Blumenthal from Connecticut did one, and DeBath from Georgia did the 4th. They're coming at it. It's basically they're throwing so much stuff at the wall and just hoping something sticks.
Why?
It's just terrible.
Why are the ones that are supposed to be on our side as pro-constitutionalists the ones that are instituting these bills now? It's crazy.
Yeah.
We don't have many friends in Congress, guys.
Yeah.
I seriously.
We don't have a lot of friends at all. Okay, we do have one friend in Shooting Gallery, North Eni. I keep forgetting what Eni is. It Nebraska?
Sounds right. Yeah.
Is it nor'easter?
I think that's the weather. I think that's the weather forecast.
Yeah, okay. He says Massachusetts has a lot of 2A Ling people outside of Boston and the big cities.
Yeah, if you look at the map of Massachusetts, 128 is like a crescent-shaped highway, and that's like Greater Boston. Everything out west is legit. We are conservative leaning. We love our rights. But it's all the city people, which is the way it is in all the big states. The cities is where they move, and they get enough people where they control everything else.
Yeah.
And then they wreck everything for the rest of us.
Yep.
Yeah. Dan is asking what Jared's YouTube channel is. I'm going to throw it back up here again. Let me see. This should be it. Boom. There it goes. Guns and Gadgets. That's what it looks like. Please go there. Subscribe many times.
So You're not doing like crazy gun reviews and stuff like that. It's mostly politics.
Most of it is Second Amendment politics. I've started recently working in gun builds and going to the range. But I'm trying to stay true to what the people who watch my stuff like, and that they want to be up to date with infringements no matter where they are, here or there.
That's an awesome thing, because there's so many. There are a lot of gun channels that I don't know if want to get into politics or like don't take the time, because a lot of people are looking for gun porn. Like that's all you're looking. YouTube because you want to just watch gun porn. Right. So it's a noble thing. It's just it's got to be exhausting in my mind.
It is. It's messy. I work 40 to 60 to 80 hours a week on my regular job, and then I put in another 40 hours on YouTube. That's the part that people don't see, but it never stops, because every time you turn the news on or open up a web page, there's a new infringement somewhere that they're trying, whether it's red flag here, magazine ban there, bump stock ban here. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Feels never ending.
Yeah. Me Too on Tube says, Jared, we need you in office.
Guys like me who speak their mind never end up in office.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the guys we need. We need those kind of guys there. Let me just throw this. Let's throw this real quick. I'll throw in just so you guys. Oh, and I just closed it. Hold on. There we go. So just so you guys can see what that video looks like. Gun owner confronts Senator Rubio on red flag laws is the title of the video, and it's what's he calling this YouTube channel? Okay, Title of Liberty Enterprises. That's what Greg's calling the channel right now. So you guys go check that out. He'll be here tomorrow and he'll talk about it. And at some point I need to remember to share it. So Babyface, just remind me of that.
I will definitely forget, but I will try.
Yeah. Put that with all the other things that we have to try to remember.
Seriously.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's good that there are people like you talking about politics and things like that. I think it's a good thing to talk about right now. I know some people don't want to do it, but it is a good thing. Get out there and talk about it.
It's tough. It's unfortunately, I did a video last week that's actually caused me to lose a lot of subscribers.
Really?
So one thing I'm big on is I call out everybody. If my uncle violates the law, I'm calling out my uncle. And I did I did a video on the president on how he has not been as strong in defending the Second Amendment like he claimed.
Right.
And the Trump fans, even the Trump fan network, had all their people come on, and it's been ugly. It's been ugly. But
if you can't, if you are a true Second Amendment person and you can't realize that the president is clearly throwing us under the bus at every other turn, you don't know what's going on. You just have your head buried in the sand. Because
and the first thing people say is, "Oh, you'd rather have Hillary," and I didn't say that at all. I just
no,
said that
none of us said
I
that.
For him,
that's not an argument.
But he is not my binky.
Yeah.
If he screws up, I'm going to call him out.
Yes,
and people can't deal with this.
No politician, no president, nobody is perfect. They're not going to, unless you particularly are in office. Nobody's going to agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, it's impossible.
Yeah, and we even if we vote for them, I think I voted for Trump. I think everyone here voted for Trump. That doesn't mean that we just let him do whatever the hell he wants to and not talk about it. Anyone who's in power, anyone who's in power, we should be watching them and talking about them. Look, if they do good things, say it. If they do bad things, say it. It's pretty much the way it needs to go. Let me see. Alaskan Ballistics gave us $5. He says Congress only has one party with two factions. No one is on our side but us. Yep.
Yeah. 100%.
Absolutely.
Agree.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So let's see. There's a couple things going on here. All right. So let's switch over to the big news that's out there, and then we could come back to some of the other things. Bunch of different things floating around out there. So you want to do that? Let's go over to this whole thing with Chris Cox. And there's lots of news here. Let's pull up the Bloomberg one. Let's talk about. There's lots of things. Someone's gonna get mad at me for whoever I choose to pull up the news from. Whatevs. We got to go.
Bloomberg might end up owning their rights.
Yeah, exactly. So NRA suspends 2 leaders, and right now a lot of the news that's going out there is just saying one person. But the headline here, Bloomberg, is NRA suspends 2 leaders amid accusations of coup attempt. Okay, and then it goes on here. Let's see. National Rifle Association suspended its top lobbyist and one of its deputies, adding further turmoil to the gun rights group's leadership ranks as it wages legal battles on multiple fronts and prepares for a bruising 2020 election cycle. The NRA confirmed Thursday that it had suspended Chris Cox, the lobbying chief, who is viewed widely as a future leader of the group, and his deputy chief of staff, Scott Christman. The moves came after Oliver North, the former NRA board president, was ousted from the organization in April after it accused him of leading an attempted coup against Wayne LaPierre, the executive vice president of the NRA, who has long served as the organization's leader. So basically the NRA is like Russia. It's like Putin. right?
Seriously, it's insane. You go against anything that they say and you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough time. Well, Hank, you were there. We saw it unfold in front of our eyes in Indy. They had two choices. The first choice was to do the right thing, cut the head off the snake, get rid of the entrenched people in the board and start afresh and fix it because we need it fixed.
Yeah.
I think that a gun community, a Second Amendment future without the NRA involved is something we probably don't want to see. We can use their platform and they have, they're the biggest out there. There are other groups that by far do more and do better, but they're the biggest right now. And we could use that to our advantage. But the other option was, to circle the wagons and protect Wayne. And that's second day we saw that's what they were going to do.
Yeah, it's insane. He has it in lockdown. I mean, people have said this for a long time. A lot of stuff that's coming out right now has been said for a long time. Those rumors have been out there. We've heard guys saying this is how this is. It's not really what you guys think it is. You're giving it your money. They do whatever they want to do. All of this stuff, the stuff with Ackerman McQueen, all of that's coming out. So Ackerman McQueen's been ousted. They got rid of Oliver North. A bunch of other people they got rid of. They're now suspending Cox and others in there. All the stuff's coming out about the overspending, lack of accountability, and fiduciary responses. It's insane. And at some point, I think we all have to realize that this organization is not for us. They're for themselves. There's nothing that we could do.
Yeah.
They're in trouble. They have so many avenues against them right now they're chartered in New York. Right? That's the biggest, Second Amendment well, what's supposed to be the biggest pro 2A group is in the most anti-gun state. It's chartered there. They're going after them for a couple things. The AG of New York has the ultimate say over everything that has business ties there. So they're trying to pull their status as far as a nonprofit. They're being looked into for not spending their money the way they're supposed to, almost like a Ponzi scheme. They're in some hot water right now.
Yeah, DCG44s, I'll read his comment. He says, I don't give a expletive if Cox plotted against LaPierre or not. His participation in the bump stock fiasco and red flag laws is enough to boot him. I agree with that. I don't feel sorry for him either. I think all of this is just an indication of the dumpster fire that is raging over at the NRA. And I don't know that we will ever get handle on it. I think, was this what you were talking about, Babyface? That Bloomberg might come in there and buy them out and have the name.
I wasn't talking about that, but
yeah, some people have said this. Like, this could potentially happen. We don't really stand much of a chance of doing anything about this. The only way to fix this, we're not going to get LaPierre to stand down. There's nothing that indicates he's ever going to do that in life. So the only thing we could do is defund it, let it die, whatever, let someone else take it over. We could make something else. We can make multiple other things. Maybe we should never have one thing be this big. It's so big that they don't feel like they have to listen to us.
Yeah, absolutely. They are, and like you just mentioned, they're legitimately could be bought out by Bloomberg. They could be forced to liquidate everything and to basically be bought out by the biggest anti-gun guy out there right now.
Yeah, that would be shameful, but hey, it could go down. Who knows what happens here. Jim Gregory gave us $10. He says, great chat. Thanks for the great content. Wayne and the NRA board need to go before I stop sending all my donations to GOA and the 2AF. So, Second Amendment Foundation. Yeah, this is the way. You know what? I'll tell you one thing, man. They could take that money and then forget about you and then not remember you ever again until they need money. These are the only things we get from them. That's what they do, though. Yeah.
That's the feeling I get as to what they do. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and then they ask if you want to buy wine on top of it.
Yeah, it's like...
sign up now. You get this shitty little knife that we bought from China. With your 1 year subscription, whatever. It's like, I don't want that crap, and I don't want to be part of this.
Yeah, and a camo bag that the zipper breaks as soon as you
exactly.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time that people have gotten mad at what the NRA is doing. It's happened before, years ago. When was it? Like back in the 80s when everyone got really mad.
How do they hold on to it? Well, they didn't have social media at the time, I'm guessing, so they could control the narrative better. Is that sound about accurate?
Yeah. I think also LaPierre is pretty much what Putin did. He just changed all the laws, set it up so him and his cronies control everything. No one can really do anything about this, and they'll run this no matter what, and they have the money. And I'll tell you, before they actually go away, there's a lot of money they could still burn through before they actually go away.
Well, I don't know, man. This last estimate I saw, they're spending close to $1 million a day right now on litigation, and they just filed another lawsuit yesterday. That's how the Chris Cox King thing came out.
Yeah, that's not their. So they're spending $1 million a day of our money that we gave them, not for the Second Amendment. But
I was going to say on non-Second Amendment lawsuits, because if they're filing them in state courts against unconstitutional laws, that's what they're there for. Great, but if they're filing them to silence people, then fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is their. I think yesterday was their 4th or 5th. I think it's 4, but it could be the 5th.
Yeah.
That's the cases against Ackerman McQueen. That's nothing else. That's just against Ackerman.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So by the way, Gibson Fender is correcting us. He says Business 101, you cannot buy out a nonprofit business. It's not even a possibility. The NRA can merge with another nonprofit or shut down. Those are the only options. Okay, that's okay.
Or they could be.
Why you want to be logical?
The way New York, if I'm correct, and I've talked to people who are in the NRA, they could be ordered to liquidate, and the board could be disbanded, everything could be disbanded, and they could just be nullified, and somebody could come in and scoop up the pieces, and that's what Bloomberg's hoping to do.
Mm-hmm.
So has this been talked about extensively? Is this has he said that that's what he wants to do, or?
Well, the AG wants to shut them down, and it's kind of rumor, but what way to be the person? He's already been the person who's kind of defunded them by putting them pretty much bankrupt in New York with all the lawsuits, him and the governor, and they stopped the carry guard from being sold there and all that stuff. So they definitely have an agenda. Yeah.
Listen, the thing is, I don't feel sorry for the NRA and what's happening here to them. Ultimately, they brought this on themselves. They're the ones that have been doing all these things. We can go back a couple of years ago when they disinvited the USCCA, remember that? To the convention. They did all these different things. And now, if they weren't like this, if they weren't doing these kinds of things, if they weren't out there opening the door for the bump stock ban, and first of all, giving Donald Trump the ghetto pass to the gun world, right? If they weren't out there doing all of these things, now when they're under, because they would probably come under attack anyway, but we would be out there shoring them up and supporting them. But a lot of this is happening because they have refused to listen. It's one of the things they did with us as gun guys on YouTube and on social media. They were like, hey, we don't control these people. We're not going to help them. As a matter of fact, we don't want them to exist. And if anything, we'll just create our own things and put that out there and have everyone listen to that. That's the kind of thing that we've seen them do. So right now, they really dug this hole for themselves. I know they have enemies in Bloomberg and all that. And that's legitimate. I'm not trying to, I don't like Bloomberg at all. But they dug this hole themselves.
Oh, absolutely. They couldn't care less about the membership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they won't. I'm going to tell you, they're not going to shut down. You know what's surprising about all of this? There's so many people out there that still support them. The general gun population out there is actually not aware of what's going on with the NRA.
No, because they don't care enough.
Yeah.
I had a speech that I gave last week about the same type of situation. The Second Amendment community, us, the gun guys, the gun gals, those of us who shoot or whatever, we are a ginormous faction in the U.S. However, we're also the most fractured faction in the U.S. We argue with each other about everything. 40 versus 9, 45 versus 9, shotguns versus rifles.
Yeah.
When we should be pulling together at all costs to save what we have, not just for us, but for our kids, for the next generation, because it's on us. We are the defenders of freedom. And I hope that the trouble comes while I'm still alive so that my kids don't have to deal with it. Exactly.
Sorry.
So Neckbone is seconding that.
But we have to. It's on us, and if we don't get our heads out of our asses, we're in trouble. They're using our separate entities against each other.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, man. I think that we are pretty I understand, everyone's not going to get along, but we do just separate it into a whole bunch of different camps, and all of that kind of stuff happens. I was looking at something that Guns and Gear did about the pores. And I didn't even know
Yeah.
there was a thing like this going on until I watched it. But basically, every time he puts up deals of like, oh, you can get this gun really cheap, this is really affordable, there's people that get mad at him and they're like, here go the poors again. Like, you're making fun of someone or coming down on someone because they can't afford whatever elite, awesome pistol or whatever it is you have. That right there, that's not helping the cause. You want to get people in the door.
So I just experienced that this week. I made this, actually right here, this AR pistol. I made it on Father's Day, and it's from a company called Ceratac. Never heard of them before. They're kind of small, out of Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's like, Palmetto State Armory, Well, Palmetto State Armory doesn't they don't do any business in Massachusetts, not even a T-shirt.
Really?
So Palmetto State Armory won't get a nickel from me because they're abandoning those of us who are fighting for the second. So, no, they won't send a hat here, guys. All right, so I will support those who will support us.
Mm-hmm.
But the same thing. Whoa, why are you going with that company? Why don't you go Palmetto? It never ends, man.
Yeah. Listen, this is the thing. Ultimately, I get it. I understand people having their preferences and all that. It's fine to have your preferences. But, you got to pay attention to the stuff that's ultimately more important. I think that's a big part of it, too. Lots of people are not paying. Here's what the majority of the gun guys, I think, are doing. They're on Fox. They're getting hypnotized by the big legs on Fox News, And as long as Trump is saying stuff like, I'm telling you, I'm the greatest for the Second Amendment ever, they're all good. They just really buy into that, and they're not paying attention to the little details that are going on. They don't care about the bump stock. They don't care about suppressors. They don't care how far that creep goes and what it gets into. And ultimately, I think a lot of those guys really don't give a crap about their children or their grandchildren. As long as they know they have some stuff now, the way they look at it, when I die, I don't give a crap what happens to the world, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's the worst way to look at it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and on top of that, I hate to say it, what I think there's a lot of people out there won't get mad until they have someone in the White House that they can get mad at.
It feels that way because, the 8 years that Obama was in office, everybody was constantly riled up about, they're taking away your ammo. Well, now they're taking away your guns. Now they're taking away both. Now they're trying to buy up ammo and constantly pushing back on all of it. Now we are just sitting back on our laurels and saying, Trump's going to take care of us. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Which is stupid. It's so stupid.
I mean,
You
guys
should never trust somebody blindly, man.
No,
seriously.
No, absolutely not. Let's see.
Other than me, you guys can trust me blindly. I will send me your money. I'll take care of it. I'll put it in escrow.
Yeah.
We'll
all your
Take
money's
that, two of
gonna,
us.
all your money's gonna go into lathes and machinery.
building new guns. Yeah, we can turn it into new guns. It's all right.
I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But yeah, it's I don't know. I think that people really need that. It's almost like, you need to get Ocasio-Cortez up in the White House for you to get activated.
God.
And I don't want that.
Imagine.
Like you said, because I get the same thing that you get, Jared, whenever I talk about it. So you're going to vote for Bernie then? No, mofos. I'm trying to tell you something. You need to pay attention.
I've never seen people so. I mean, I get it. There were even Obama. There were people who he could walk on water. He could do no wrong. Before him, I mean, the Bushes. Everybody gets enamored, and when they truly believe in what the person's doing, no matter who they are and what position they hold. I get it. But they're human. They make mistakes, and they have to be called out on it. Otherwise, they don't realize that they're making mistakes. And it just, in this case, this one video happened to be the president making several mistakes, like take guns first, due process later.
Yeah.
Those are mistakes we can't allow to happen because that's the republic, guys and gals.
Yeah. How many followers does Trump have on Twitter? It's
God.
over 30 million, right? Is it 40, 50 million?
I'm sure.
I haven't looked.
I'll check right now. It's probably all of them.
Yeah. But, I mean, here's the reason why I'm asking you this is because if 5 million of those people out there were paying attention to what's going on and they tweeted to him, then he would hear it, right? He would go, oh, crap, these people. But it's not happening because it's maybe 5,000 of us that are really out here making this kind of noise and saying, what the hell's going on? What are you guys doing? And pointing all this stuff out. This stuff is hitting the news. The NRA stuff is hitting the news because, yes, true, the media hates the NRA. They want to see it go down. And so it's hitting the news. But a lot of people looking at it on the gun side aren't going, wait a second, what's the NRA up to? You know, is this deserved? Like, maybe we should look into them deeply. When I posted something today, let me see, I don't know if I could pull this up. I made a post on Instagram, and one of the things that I noticed is that on Instagram there were a bunch of people like, what are you guys talking about? Why is why is everyone hating on the NRA?
Yeah, it's clearly you haven't. If that's the stance that you're at right now,
Yeah.
like I don't think you've watched one of Hank's podcasts for the last 6 months to a year, because it comes up often with us about
Right.
we don't agree with what they're doing at the moment, and God, LaPierre needs to go. That guy needs to be out. They need a whole change of guard. Everything needs to change, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, this is just a huge group of people who don't like. I don't know, how can I put it into a comparison? Like, if it doesn't affect me personally, I don't care. So those people who aren't in the know about the NRA or how much they're actually against the Second Amendment in certain areas, if they're not looking it up, they're not going to find it. You know, they don't care. They just go through their life and worry about what affects them individually. That's where they put that knife in our backs, is they take care of that void. You know, because unless you're in the know, you don't really care.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a bunch of things to get in here. I don't know if you guys had it, if you wanted to get into something else, or there's other things you wanted to bring up on this. And the only reason I say that is this NRA thing is just getting worse all the time. And I think tomorrow or next week we're going to get up into some like crazy thing, because I remember when we were at like you were talking about, when we were at NRA and this news broke, and Lola was like, "Oh wow, this is horrible, man." You know, and I remember saying to her, "Guess what? There's not even the end.
Oh no,
this stuff is just going to keep coming."
Oh yeah, especially now it's hitting the courts. Every time there's a deposition or something, we're gonna get more and more dirty laundry coming soon.
Yeah. So once that gets to the courts, once the stuff starts coming out, you guys are gonna be really surprised by what is floating around.
Discovery
out there.
is the scariest thing to any lawyer on either side. So whenever discovery hits, oh my God, just wait for the media to jump on that. Discovery is going to be, especially if they get to that stage with the NRA for something. Oh, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
So you guys buying any? You gonna buy any yeet cannons?
Oh yeah.
Hey, can I talk about that a little bit today?
Yeah. So not everyone's talking about everyone not knowing what's going on. Yeah.
I've already said that if HK does do like a special run of yeet cannon 45s for the Mark 23s, they're expensive guns, but I will totally get a Mark 23 yeet cannon just because it's Mark 23 yeet cannon. Like, that is the yeetiest of cannons. It's a crew-served pistol. It's massive. So I think that's funny, but not yet.
Do you want to break it down for the people who have no idea what the yeet cannon thing is all about? Or
that would be one of you guys. I just found out about it about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Hey, am I the youngest one here? Am I the only one that knows what yeet means and how to?
No, I don't. I never knew what. Yeah, what the hell does yeet mean? Because I don't know. I don't know about this. We were talking about Mac and I were talking about it yesterday. Okay,
man,
start there. What the hell is yeet?
I'm not the right color to be yeeting either. Like,
I don't even know what that means.
That is not a white person thing.
Oh, wait.
So if you
wait, hold on a second. Is it a bodily secretion?
No.
Okay, all right, just
no, that's Keaton.
No, yeet is it's like a thing you yell when you're like doing a dance move or something. You shooting a gun, you yeet.
That's a thing.
Totally, yeah. Ask your kids. Seriously, ask.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask them. Let me text one of the boys now and see. I'm gonna text one of my sons right now and see what the hell. Let me see.
It's like a kind of a ghetto exclamation that has gone from like ghetto slang to like mainstream slang. So
if he tells me, I'll let you guys know.
I don't know where it came from for the because somehow it got upvoted like crazy on the the guns that are coming out.
So here's the thing. High Point is coming out with a new C9. They were on the show with us several, was that a month ago or something? And they were telling us that they're going to do this naming contest, which we were like, okay, as long as you know what you're getting into, if you're going to let the people out there put up names, which is what they said. And then if you guys go back, I put out this snippet. It's on YouTube/Hank Strange. You guys could go see it. They said, oh yeah, the first round we'll let everyone come up with their names. Second round we'll get rid of some of those. And I was like, yeah, you can't actually do that. If you're going to let people vote for names that they want it to be named, people are going to come up with stuff you don't like.
So I think you're going a little bit too harsh on them.
Right.
Because I think what they were doing was getting rid of, like, let me see. Have you seen what 4chan did for Mountain Dew flavors?
No.
Oh God. Okay, hold on. So so anytime that somebody puts out one of these name the whatever contests, forums like 4chan will jump in and come up with the worst names ever, the most atrocious things you can think of, and get them voted to the top. And of course the company is like, well, fuck that, we can't put that on there. So I think what he was saying is, at his discretion, at their discretion, they're not going to put things like, okay, here, you ready for the top 8? Top 8. These are the top 8 ones that 4chan did for the new Mountain Dew Dub the Dew.
Okay.
Number 1, did nothing wrong. Number 2, Gushing Granny. Number 3, Fapple. Number 4, Diabetes. Number 6 was Granny Squirt. So it's like, it's things like that. That's like, they're not gonna put that out to the public.
I'm sorry.
And say that
if
you got voted the top.
If you're going to have a contest and say whatever the most people vote for, we are putting up there. I'm sorry, if the most people vote for Granny Squirt, then Granny Squirt is what it is.
He's gonna have to name the new Mountain Dew Granny Squirt.
Yeah, this is just about. So anyway, so they had the vote. I think Yeet Cannon.
It was Yeet Cannon.
Yeah,
that was the first top vote.
Yeah, so Yeet Cannon was high up there, or YC9, YC for Yeet Cannon. But what they did was they took that off and put all the other, like, politically correct names or whatever they want, or really what they liked that came out of there. And people weren't going for it. People got mad. And then HK decided to troll them.
In the last, like, 2 days this happened, right?
Yeah.
This is very recent, because I didn't even know this happened until Hank told me about it today, that they had pulled it down and then put it back up.
Yeah. Well, so everyone was really mad about it, and it was becoming a thing. It was starting to trend. So the people at HK saw this, and HK decided to troll them on it, and they were like, that's when they said the HK23 or whatever that is.
The Mark 23, they're going to name it. If
yeah.
they get with them, and basically they were like, if you guys do the High Point and the Yeet Cannon, we will also release a special edition Mark 23 called the Yeet Cannon.
Yeah, and everyone jumped in on it.
I think it's happening. Yeah. I hope it happens.
Well,
I'll buy a Mark 23 and a High Point.
Yeah, people got so mad that then High Point decided to bring it back, and it will be there. So Yeet Cannon may wind up on there, or YC9, something like that. Lots of people who would never buy a High Point said that they would buy it just to put that on.
I will buy a Yeet Cannon High Point, and this is coming from somebody who won't buy a High Point. Like Hank swears that every gun guy needs a High Point. I personally would never own one. But I will buy, if they have it as a YC9, I will totally buy one. Just to put it away and say I have that.
Yeah, every gun guy should at least have one so you know what the hell you're talking about. It really drives me crazy, you know, for people. You could talk about whatever you want to, but don't get deep in the weeds with it if you've never even shot one or you don't own one, you know? So
you want another? I'll give you another two more examples of 4chan ruining, well, quote unquote ruining voting things. Taylor Swift, let's see if I can pull up the actual name of the school. Taylor Swift had a contest where it was like, vote for me to come to your school to perform. This was for like high schoolers. Where is it? So 4chan jumped in. School. I need to get the name of the school. 4chan jumped in and won the vote, and the top vote was where was it? So I want to make sure I get the name correct on this one.
BWE says everyone needs a throwaway gun.
a drop gun. Do they sell them with the numbers scratched off in advance?
Yeah.
It was for the Boston School of the Deaf.
Oh boy.
So everybody voted to send Taylor Swift to the Horace Mann School for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. And of course she was like, no, I'm not fucking doing that. The other one they did is Pitbull had one where he was like, bring him to your city and he'll put on a concert. It was for Walmart. It was a thing that they did with Walmart. Bring us to a city that has your Walmart. I'll perform out in front of one of the Walmarts. They voted for like the smallest town in Alaska that has a Walmart. And he actually went through with it. He actually was like, yeah, let's do it. Flew out to that Walmart in this like little like 1,000-person town in Alaska and performed.
That's what you're okay, but that's what you're supposed to do.
That's how that's how it goes.
That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. So I know there's some people asking us about what happened with the NRA news. We'll get back to it here in a second. Let me just get this. Alaskan Ballistics gave us $10. He says, "At what point do we go to a third-party libertarian or write-in candidate, split the party, make the R's learn by enduring 4 years of Obama-like presidency, then pushing for a true patriot?" I'm fine with that.
For me, I can tell you, for me, if we lose more of our firearms rights in the next whatever year we have until 2020, I will be changing my vote from R to something else. And I don't know what that something else is, but may not be voting for President Trump. Just saying.
So on that note, the Libertarian Party, their choice right now is Bill Weld, who was a governor here in Massachusetts. RINO. That guy is the biggest rhino. He is a Democrat. He is anti-gun. So just be cautious. Okay? Just because it's the Libertarian Party doesn't mean that the guy that they're sending up is a libertarian.
Absolutely.
He might be now, but he's not at heart.
Right. And we actually had on a Libertarian Party candidate for 2020, Adam Kokesh. He was on the show. I think he did a good job.
I think we should put Liberty Doll up. Liberty Doll's
Liberty Doll. There we go. Okay, fine.
I pulled up the Wikipedia for the Libertarian Party for 2020 candidates. They have the most amazing characters. Adam Kokesh was on there.
Yeah, where is he? What's his ranking on there?
They don't have.
There's no ranking. Okay.
The next one was John McAfee, which anybody knows. John McAfee is fucking nuts. That's the guy that came up with McAfee internet security software.
We need to get him on the show.
That guy is crazy. Third one that they have is Vermin Supreme, which is that like he looks like what's his Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
Okay, I was gonna say, what about the writ is too damn high? Have you seen?
He's not on here. He should be though. He should be. But he's not. But yeah, they have the craziest people out here.
Lola Strange is out there in Texas. You guys should shout out Lola Strange. She left me. She went to Texas. I don't know.
Dry heat.
Yeah. She's. I looked at where she's at exactly. She's right on that border. Lola might go over the border, man. Make a run for Mexico. Just to try to get away from me. Everyone go shout her out right now. Okay, while you're looking at that, here's before we back to the yeet cannon thing, I just want to say that it has sparked a whole industry. Right now the gun industry is losing money, right? Everything's going on sale. The number of people out there, number of companies that are putting yeet cannon on stuff. There's at least 2 lowers out. I think Aero Precision has one. PSA has one. The people are just putting yeets on whatever they need to sell right now. So there's going to be a yeet cannon bubble. I'm predicting it right now here on the show. Yeet cannon bubble is going to happen. Everybody's going to run out there and buy stuff with yeet cannon. And then by the time High Point gets to it, it's going to be too damn late.
I'm to the point now with yeet cannon where if anybody else announces that they're making a yeet cannon, I'm going to be like, I don't really care. It's over. It's fun.
Yeah.
The fun's kind of over. You're just jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, you've killed it.
High Point I'll buy, an HK I'll buy, and maybe a lower if there's something cool. But that's about it for me.
Do you have to cant the yeet cannon?
Yeah, you gotta hold it sideways.
I don't know how you get the yeet out of there. I don't know. However whatever you got to do to get your yeet out.
Get your yeet on.
Yeah, but there seriously are a bunch of things that everyone's putting yeet cannon on stuff now. So yeah, the bubble's gonna pop real quick on that. Soprano, let's see what Soprano says here. He gave us a couple of $5. He says pro-gun voices will be silenced when the boomers have passed away. We've been replaced by illegals, children, and others. Boomers didn't have enough kids. I think that what
I don't know. I think a lot of boomers are FUDs. That's just my opinion.
I think so.
I think there are a lot of FUD boomers, and I think that the new generation of firearms owners, like my age and younger than me, want AR-15s. We want cool shit. We don't want FUD guns.
Yeah,
my opinion.
Yeah. You know what I think? I think that maybe that's true. However, a lot of the kids, like my kids are, right now they're 18, 19, right? They're very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're paying attention. I think all of this, especially boys, a lot of stuff that's happened to boys out there in that age category, they've been pushed so far down. They're like, you know what, screw this. And they're not buying it anymore. It's like when, it's like, I guess in my generation, they told people hip hop's no good. Everyone bought hip hop music.
Yeah.
Or rock and roll. Oh, that's the devil's music.
We're telling kids conservatism is evil.
And they're like, wait,
the
let's take a look
is.
at this. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're like, no, that kind of makes sense. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Try living in Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah. So I think.
So we live in Gainesville, and I have a feeling it's fairly similar here in the sense that everything is super liberal, everything is hippie and liberal. So I think we kind of get an idea for it, but I'm sure Massachusetts is Boston's got to be bad.
Yeah, at least your state gives you some freedoms. Like our state, we just they don't believe in freedom here. No.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
People are sending me pictures of their Yeet cannon lowers.
So what can or can't you have? What has your state decided you cannot own?
All right, so Joe Citizen. So there are two classes in this state, which I don't agree with. Law enforcement personnel are exempt from the assault weapon ban, and the average citizen has to abide by it. So that would mean unless you had what was quote unquote a pre-ban rifle, or something that before July 20th of 2016, when Maura Healey decided to just reinterpret the law. You can't buy an AR right now unless it was pre-banned. You can't build a gun right now if you're just an average person. You can't buy a new Gen 5 Glock at an FFL.
That's crazy.
Oh, dude, it's so
that's crazy.
The long
it's
and the short
sick
of it
shit.
Yeah.
Years ago, some problems where they were hemorrhaging money, and the previous AG, and the rumor is the previous AG and some politicians had some stock and they were losing money, so they created some new laws that would help Smith & Wesson. In the meantime, it hurt Glock, which had, almost every police agency in the country was reverting to Glock, and it was a $500 gun that could outperform the $700 guns out there, and they had to protect their investment, so you can't buy anything from an FFL. You can still buy Glocks, new Glocks, like person to person or like gun broker and stuff like that. But from an FFL, because they don't have a loaded chamber indicator, they don't have a 10.5-pound trigger pull, and they didn't pay a $50,000 extortion fee to Massachusetts to have the firearm tested. The magazine disconnect is another stupid thing that they're requiring. It's just ridiculous.
Wait. You guys have to have mag disconnects in like your pistols? That's a thing?
That's one of the things that they want. You don't have to have it, but yeah.
Thank God the Browning High Power came out how many years ago?
Well, Smith & Wesson, they've stopped it, but Smith & Wesson, that was one of their claims of fame back in the day, was the magazine disconnect. So back in the old third gen, the aluminum series.
Jeez.
Never ends, man.
There's no that doesn't make none of that makes any logical sense if you own a firearm. Like it just doesn't make it. That's nonsensical, completely nonsensical.
Oh no, the 11th round in the magazine here makes you an assassin.
Man.
Jesus.
Yeah. Let's see. So I know there's some folks out there want to know what this news is with the NRA. If we could just go back to it briefly, we talked about it at the top. It's basically Chris Cox has been outed by Wayne LaPierre. He's getting rid of everyone. It's freaking Game of Thrones over there. He's Daenerys, and he has lost his mind. And the dragon is just what was the dragon's thing again? Dracarys, everyone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wayne LaPierre runs it, man, and he's over there getting rid of anyone who he even in his brain thought of getting. If you go up to him and say, listen, Wayne, to save the NRA, to save the Second Amendment, to save America, will you? Then you're out.
You don't even say to you? He would dab and go, yeet. It just walked.
You're now combining the yeet and the dab?
There's no law that says you can't dab and yeet at the same time. Everybody knows that.
I think that's what someone put on the lower, by the way. Let me see. I got to try to pull up these lowers because it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous.
Lightning in a bottle, man. Lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. So let me see. Okay, I think here's one that Lola sent me. Let me see. Something happened to my throwing up.
Wait, before we move on, do you want to kind of finish thoughts on the LaPierre thing? He's screwing everybody over, and
Oh, really? We're okay. So let's do that. Fine.
I didn't know because we got on it, and then I brought you back to Yeet. I don't know if we want to go to Yeet again before finishing on LaPierre.
Okay, so LaPierre is kicking out everyone. He kicked out Chris Cox and Chris Cox is his deputy.
Chris Cox is, right? Like was head lawyer, so he was like, that's a big deal. It's not just some.
Wasn't he NRA ILA or something like that?
Yeah, he was the head of the ILA.
Yeah. So
big.
I mean, the guys in the NRA that were actually doing stuff. But yes, I agree with what a lot of other people are saying, that these guys still open the door for lots of craziness. And there's just lots of craziness going on over there right now.
Well, don't forget that Chris himself got on video and put it up saying, we should have red flag laws. The extreme risk protection order is a good thing as long as it's due process.
Right.
He opened that door himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I'm saying I don't have sympathy for Chris Cox being kicked out at all. This is what's going on over there. They're eating themselves right now, and they don't have our support. So whatever happens to them. To be honest with you, I think they need to go away. They shouldn't be the group representing us anymore. And I'm not trying to tell people, definitely give money to the GOA, Second Amendment Foundation, support the guys out there who are talking about all these things. Who are doing things about it, who are pushing back. We spend a lot of time here in Florida. We're going to talk a little bit because I know that there were some people, that there was a whole Yankee Marshal thing, and I think we'll get into that a little bit here. Yeah. But we're all fighting in our own individual states. We're fighting for other states, and we're trying to support everything possible. So I think you need to, but specifically in your own states, you need to look at the guys who are there and who are fighting for your state. You need to help support them. Like what we do here, Babyface and I have done it. We meet these politicians that do crap, and we come down on them. We give them a piece of our mind.
I was very harsh on our local politician. He didn't like me.
Yeah. So, we need to do all of this stuff. We need to get at them on social media, all of that kind of thing. So, and we need to eliminate the need for something like the NRA to run everything. We don't need one ring to rule them all. In my opinion. So let me get to a couple. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I typically say on my show is like, support those who support you. And all you got to do is look at some of the headlines, who's suing the states, who's suing the federal government. You don't see the NRA up there much. You do see Gun Owners of America. You do see Second Amendment Foundation. You see Firearms Policy Coalition. And there's more. Support those who support you because they're the ones fighting right now, and they need the financial support because they're not as big as the NRA. They don't have that kind of income.
Yeah, and if for anyone out there who's wondering what's happening here with the NRA and why we're mad, they've been disenfranchising us for years. This is what's going on. They've been marginalizing us. There's lots of things that I've seen behind the scenes where we reached out to the NRA and tried to get them to help us with what's going on with YouTube and other social media, for example. And they were like, haha, those guys are going down.
They want your money and they want you to forget about them. They just want to take your money and do what they want with it and tell you to, don't worry about it. We got this taken care of. Don't look behind the curtain.
Right. You'll see a lot of stuff with all the disclosures coming. You'll find out.
Cool.
Let's see. Big Dre 357 says, Hank, check your text messages. I think he says stated. I think he wants to say started something. So everyone
started something.
Yeah, everyone's going to get the yeet cannon thing. I'm assuming everybody's out there getting yeet cannoned up. Okay. He says yes. Autocorrect got me on that last message. Okay, I think that's it from him. Thanks, by the way. Let me see if I could throw this in here because I know some people want to see these. So here, let's. I used to have just a button I could push and do this, but now I gotta go do it the hard way. So here we go. Yeet cannon. So yes, this one. Who is this from? Is this one from? Oh yeah, this is from Palmetto State. And basically, what it is, it says it's got a guy dapping. It says yeet cannon. And it says backlash 15. That's that one. So let me see here. There's probably a couple of more out there that I'll try to pull up another one and then I'll show that here in a second. I think I've got the one from Okay, yes. And by the way, let me see, how much was that one? I think that one's $49, the PSA one.
That's not bad. PSAs are normally pretty good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. They don't
Except
sell
they-
stuff here.
I was just about to
Yes,
say,
I
except
know.
they
I
don't ship
know.
up
They
north.
don't. Yes, I know. They don't. What
No
was the? What was
cannons
the?
for the Northeast.
Yeah. Okay. So what was the thing again with that, Jared? What's up with them? We should
Palmetto
probably.
State Armory will not do any business in Massachusetts because of how much gray area there is in dealing with our stupid Attorney General Laura Healy. Even a T-shirt. I spoke with them at NRA just to get an answer on that, and they just won't. They just won't do it. So
They won't send
even
any. So they're protesting what's going on there. So they won't send anything to Massachusetts. Okay.
Yep. So you can't even buy a baseball hat to if you wanted to wear it.
Okay. So are you mad at them for that policy or?
Yeah, part of me is because,
Okay.
like, as somebody who's in this state fighting for the way it should be, I think those, especially the the gun manufacturers out there, they should support. In my mind, they should support the fight instead of just avoid it altogether.
Yeah. Well, so
But, I mean,
so
their
what's their
business, I'm not-
argument? What's their
I'm not-
argument? Why are they doing that? Are they doing it as a protest to that state with all the anti-gun stuff, saying like, "Hey, we're not going to support this state with guns," or?
No, man. When I
Okay.
asked, I'm sure you saw the same guys I saw at NRA. They just said we just won't deal with Massachusetts. So
Okay.
it's discouraging, because I would love to be able to purchase their stuff and pimp it in the state, but. Like I said, if I wanted to buy a pair of socks from Palmetto State Armory, I can't.
Yeah, we maybe we need to deep dive into this, babyface, and see what's going on with this, because Jared may have something here that maybe we need to look into. And see
There
what
are a
we
lot
do.
of companies that just blanket ban certain states because they just don't want to
that's
deal
true.
with the states. It's not just PSA. There are others.
Yeah.
Oh no, I totally understand. I
Yeah.
get it. I get the business model. I'm not hating on them at all, but it would, in my mind, if we all, as like I said, we should all be pulling together at all costs instead of being fractured. The
Yeah.
more support we show for everybody, regardless of these stupid quote unquote laws, I think the better off we'd be as a whole.
Yeah.
And I assume they have the infrastructure to handle this stuff can go there, this stuff can't go there. You think they would be able to like take that on and say, yes, we can sell T-shirts and hats. We can't give you an AR-15, but we can do other stuff. So
Right, but you can sell a handguard, you can sell a grip. It's just
exactly.
It hasn't been made into a machine gun yet. That's the bump stock, but they can still sell stuff. They
Yeah.
can still make money. There's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah, we should find out what their word is on that and see, specifically what's up with that. Armament and Axes gave us a couple of bucks. What was that?
Not gonna say it. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna, no, now I have to.
What?
They're just gonna walk past you and go, yeet. Let's walk away.
Oh gosh, can't let it go. You cannot let it go. Armament and Axis says, "Cool to see Jared on. Miss meeting him at NRAM."
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Are you going to keep going to NRA? I don't think I want to go anymore. I don't want to support it anymore.
So I was on gun channels with some other guys, Tim and Rob Pincus and Jeff Knox, and we're actually thinking about trying to get all of the membership out there to flood that annual meeting room. I don't know if you went. Did you actually go into the meeting this year? It was at least 40% empty, and because it's empty, they have more leeway to do whatever they want because they don't have to answer to us, and that's what that meeting is for. It's for us. It's basically like it's like for us to air our grievances.
Right.
It's kind of.
I heard it got kind of feisty in there.
Festivus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Rob Pincus got up and did a smash job. He did a hell of a job calling them out, saying we need to keep air everything out now in public the way it's supposed to be with the membership. Let's fix it. Let's get rid of the problem. Let's get over it. Let's just fix it going forward. And they tried so hard to put it into executive session just to keep us out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I want to go because I want to try to spearhead the movement to get more butts in the seat. Those of us who pay to be members. I'm a life member. I'd like to see it get fixed. I don't know if it can be fixed, to be honest with you, but if there's something we can do to fix it, I'm all in.
Yeah, I don't know. I really see all the evidence points to me is that LaPierre has this in lockdown, and there's just no point to me trying to do something. And I think ultimately our energies might be better spent somewhere else. I'm not saying don't go. I like going because I get to meet the people who support all of this, who support us. Maybe we need to do like a counter thing somewhere outside of it. I know this year the reason why I didn't get to that is because Mac was in Indianapolis. He just did something outside for his patrons, and he invited me, and I was like, you know what, I'll go hang out with Mac and the folks that support him. So I did that. I think we maybe have to look at some kind of solution, because we're fighting with these guys and we have no control. If Chris Cox gets kicked to the curb like this, who's got control over that thing? No one. You know, so I'm not saying, like, I think I get where you're coming from and it's a good place. I just think like what do we need to see to realize that we don't have any control? It's like if you're in Russia and you're like, oh, I just want there to be fair elections.
Oh, no, I get that totally. But the way it's chartered, the membership has the power, and we actually can do certain things, but we have to be present at meetings to have it done. And it's tough I get it. It's tough. This is the first time I ever went to NRA meeting because, you know, I'm this big on YouTube, and I finally get enough money to go to Indianapolis. So it's tough for the average Joe to go halfway across the country to go to the annual meeting. I get it. But for those of who can, like it's in Nashville this year, coming up, if you can get there, get there.
Yeah.
You know, if you can make a positive change, I think we try. Who knows? Maybe they wake up and Wayne's the next head to roll. We don't know, but they do definitely need to cut the head off the serpent.
I fear that right now they're making those rules even more restrictive. And that's ultimately the problem that's going on there. But I understand where you're coming from, man. I think we all need to get to the point. I've been trying to do it for a long time and all that, and I'm there. I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, whatevs. I don't think that my energy is going in a good place trying to change what's going on. You know, so...
No, I get it.
Let's see. There was something I wanted to get... Oh, you know what? Actually, my son did get back to me. So I'll just read what he says.
What did he say?
He says...
He just bought one, didn't he?
No. He says yeet is like psych, but can also be used for just the sound, or to like get rid of something. So that's from an 18-year-old. So you know, like when you say psych, but Babyface doesn't know what that is.
No, of course I know what that is, Hank. I went to public high school. Jesus. I went to a public high school in Florida. I've seen just about everything.
Yeah. And my son would know. I remember the first time, you ever heard of screw screw? That?
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is that? He did that nonsense. You know.
Did you just turn around and like, what was that?
Yeah, he was just doing. I was like, what the hell are you doing? You know, I remember one time I saw him when that stupid DAP thing first came out, and I went to pick him up from school, and I saw him doing all these crazy dances, and I was like, what the hell are you doing? What is that crap?
Did you just break your arm? What's the matter?
So yeah, so that's that. Let me see. I'm gonna try to get the other the let's see. So because Jared is not gonna get the PSA one, so he's gonna pay the more money because you can get those in mass, right? You can get lowers, right? Can you guys get lowers?
Certain class of citizens can, yes.
What the hell?
So
yeah, law enforcement can buy them. The average citizen can't.
What happens when you retire out?
So anything, it'll probably change by next week, but I would be able to keep what I have now because there's a law. It's called LEOSA. It's the Law Enforcement Officers Standards Act. So you still carry your retirement rights. You can still carry in all the states and stuff like that.
Yeah, is that after 10 years or something?
There's two facets to it now for police. That's either 10 years on the job or you're retired. You're retired in good standing.
Oh, okay.
Video.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Patrick.
It's amazing that the average citizen truly is like a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
The state's terrible. It sucks.
Yeah. Police officers are citizens too. I don't know where you're at on that, but they're not like.
I was just about to say. Yeah. Go ahead.
100%, man.
Yeah. That's like a whole thing. Let me show. So here goes the. This one is from Aero Precision. It's the AR-15 Yeet cannon, and it is $99. And I'll zoom in on it, and basically they have the Aero Precision logo, and then in big block letters they have Yeet, and then in tiny little letters they have cannon. So
what
has
happened to this world?
It's overnight. People are just like going crazy for this.
So if you ask me, the coolest one is the PSA. That's a lot cooler. It's got the guy dapping and all of that if you just really want to gig. Okay, you know what's terrible? Like, this reminds me of this. I was telling Babyface this, but I don't have a link to it. So, unfortunately, there was this shooting in Dallas, right? You saw this guy that tried to get into a federal building, and the guys that were there tagged him up. He's no longer with us. Good stuff going on there. But one of the news things I was looking at, they actually put up pictures of the guns that he had, because I guess he was posting stuff on Facebook. And the ARs that he had was built on a dumpster, what was it? Dumpster defense lower.
So who is it from? Who made that?
I can't remember. You're going to have to look it up and see who made the dumpster defense lower. But do you remember several months ago, there were these guys in a trailer park that were fighting over a dumpster? That one was trying to put a mattress in the dumpster, and then the other one was taking it out, and then they got into a fight. And then one of them, his son, was there with him, and they had guns. And the guy who didn't have guns didn't back up, and he wound up getting shot by these guys.
He got killed. They killed him.
Yeah, I think there's a
Is that the one that happened in the alley behind the house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
okay,
it.
yeah,
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so someone made a dumpster defense lower.
With that guy's logo, with the guy with the shotgun.
Yeah, it's out there. If you look
I don't
it up,
know who it is.
Yeah, if you look it up, you'll see it. So someone made that, and that's what this knucklehead in Dallas had. I don't have proof of
Sons
that right
of Liberty
now.
Gun Works
Yeah.
in San Antonio, Texas. I think this actually happened in San Antonio, so that's probably why they made that lower.
Yeah. So it's so easy nowadays,
not
man.
the shooting, the dumpster fight happened in just outside of San Antonio.
Yeah, this thing at the federal building happened in Dallas. So
let me see if I can find.
Oh.
So you said it was on his Facebook or something?
yeah, and Ant Diesel Vision is correcting me. He says, Hank, it's Dab, not Dap.
I know. I was gonna say that, and
in my days we had Dap,
twice.
but that's like a pound or whatever, dude.
DAB, dabbing.
Yeah, DAP is the stuff you fill holes with in drywall.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh boy. Crackbot says no country for old mattresses. Oh. I don't know if that's too soon, too late, or what's going on with that one. Yeah, listen, I don't have any problem with people putting all kinds of crazy stuff on the lowers. I get it. You're not responsible for a lower, putting a lower out there and what some idiot does with it. Yeah.
Exactly.
But people are, in this case with the Yeet thing, it shows the desperation of the firearms industry. They are really trying to sell some stuff.
Oh, yeah. You have to.
Yeah.
That's because there's no more Obama in office to make people afraid, so you got to try to catch that lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. Lots of companies had that Hillary plan, man. They were like, yeah, Hillary gets elected, we'll sell everything, bro. That didn't really work out for them too good.
No, everything went on. They went on clearance the next day.
Yeah. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse as time goes on here. Let me see. I want to bring up. Okay, so you know what? We were talking about this. The 1639 Defense Fund. Do you want to talk about this a little bit, maybe? Get on up into it.
So I don't know if everybody knows how it happened, but Yankee Marshall put out a video yesterday, basically calling out gun channels to support. And I don't. Do you have the link I sent you? If not, I can resend it.
The GoFundMe. I just popped it up.
Yeah. So there's a lawsuit going forward to fight 1639 in the state of Washington. It's an initiative that was funded by Michael Bloomberg. It's an omnibus anti-gun bill. It's terrible. I've done a couple of videos on it when it was submitted and as it was passing, but it's bad. And the long and the short of it is the reason we need to fight it. The reason they're raising money to fight it is that they're anticipating, with all this hate for Trump right now, that there's going to be another swing of Democrats in 2020. And if they can get more in the Senate and they get a hold of those two chambers of Congress, they're going to put the same law into 15 more states. So they're going to try to flood the country with this 1639 the same exact way they're flooding it with red flag right now. So Second Amendment Foundation is taking up this, as well as I'm going blank right now, but the gentleman who started the Legal Defense Fund. But they had a goal of $50,000 to help with the lawsuit. When Yankee did his video, it was at like $25,000. So overnight, we've added $20,000.
Yeah, it's 46,835 right now.
Good. Yeah. He put up a challenge. He donated 500 of his own bucks. And called on the gun channels. He said if his size is bigger, and I'm 1/4 the size of him, but I believe in the cause, so I matched his donation. Even though I got 4 autistic kids, I can't afford it, but I'll pull some overtime to make it work. and a lot of big and small gun channels stepped up. My buddy Coda Boy 32 stepped up today. Mac donated. Eric from Iraq Veteran stepped up. Guys and gals, and even the bigger thing is our viewership. Chipping in that $20 to $15. That's what made this success so far.
Yeah, I think that is the bigger thing. The people who put in a couple of bucks, $5, $10, $20 or whatever. I think it's definitely a good thing. Like I said, there's lots of things going on here. This is a 50-state battle that we're up against. They're fighting this on all fronts. They're doing it federally. They're doing it in all the different states. We've had things going on in Florida as well as Massachusetts, all over Washington state. So definitely people should get up, try to do something about that, share it or whatever. I think that's a good thing.
I just put my money where my mouth is. So
yeah, good. Thanks for that.
It wasn't a ton of money, but it's what I got.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, every little bit counts when it comes to this stuff. I mean, a dollar goes a long way when you're looking at a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 attorney fee.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing, though, that I would like to do. I would like to start a challenge, because that's basically what Yankee Marshall did yesterday. I would like to start a challenge to stop fucking challenges. That's the challenge I would like to start. I'm sick and tired of the damn challenges. And I think that, look, we all need to work together. We need to do things together. I don't like the idea of trying to work at the same time that you're slapping someone, though. I think ultimately that doesn't work in the long run. I think getting the people who follow you to go out there and harass someone or harass people, in my opinion, is not a good idea. For sure, we should get out there. We should talk about these things. We should remind each other of it. We should try to help in whatever way we can. But for fuck's sakes, the challenges, I challenge you to stop the damn challenges. And I challenge you to go out there and challenge people to stop the challenges. It's getting old.
Yeet.
Yeah. How do I dap? Do I do that? I don't know what the fuck.
B. There's a B, no P.
Dab.
B is
dab. Whatever the hell.
Bravo.
Yeah. There's another. I damn the dab or whatever the heck it is. You know what? I think that it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing that we're trying to do. I think that, and by the way, a lot of people were getting out there and doing something about this, just because this is what we all believe in. I'm not saying that it didn't have some effect of what Yankee Marshall did. I think it does. I think it's good that he's talking about it. He's done things to help us out here. Like Babyface went through something and he helped us out.
I owe lots of money to lots of people for them helping me with Buckshot. So time to pay it forward.
Here's my problem.
Little by little, pay that forward.
Yeah, here's my little thing in this, though. I think that the idea of just riling everyone up to go out there and harass people, get under their skin, or for you to abuse people with one hand and slap them with another hand, I don't think it's cool. I'm just going to say that. I know that there's going to be fans or whatever that are going to get mad about it. Whatever. I'm just telling you that ultimately this is the reality. Like you were talking about the fact that we don't get along, one of the things that makes us not get along is when we all try to organize to bully other people. When we all decide to organize to blacklist someone. That kind of stuff has happened to me, and it pisses me off when people do it. When it's like you want us to all work together, but here's how we're going to do it. We're going to work with me to slap this person in the face at the same time asking them for something. I think that kind of crap. We got to cut that out. We could just talk to each other. We could just ask each other to do things, and not everyone's going to do it. But I think the idea of throwing these kinds of things in people's faces and all of that, I think it's kind of getting old, and we need to stop it. So,
No, I agree. I mean, we shouldn't hate on each other to get the message out. If we have an issue with each other, we should handle it, face to face or off air.
Right.
There's a time and a place.
Yeah, I can just try to tell you that the kind of stuff, like, for example, that I see him throwing at Colin Noir, I think is bullshit. And I get it, why everyone's mad at him, but that dude is just an employee of a company that is contracted to the NRA, And even though he did a lot of, when he was doing stuff for us, we were all happy about it. When he was making videos, when he was talking about things that we all agreed with, we were cool with him. But he's not LaPierre, he's not Chris Cox, he's not a big board member at the NRA, and to constantly like go after him. I don't think that's cool, and I don't see how we accomplish the goal if we have this goal of getting us all to work together by just totally alienating someone like that and other folks out there that I see these folks working really hard to alienate. I just don't think that's a cool thing. And I think if we really want to work together, let's like actually try to work together and communicate. How about that? If we really just talked to each other and communicated, we would get more done instead of like, yeah, go out there, get this person. Let me put their picture up on here and let me talk about them real bad. That's going to make everything happen. And I think if you're really falling for that, you're kind of like getting conned by someone and you don't realize it. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're speaking true words, bro.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know if there's any other things going on here that we can get into.
Ohio just missed constitutional carry to delaying the vote.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were supposed to vote on it yesterday.
Okay.
And they ran out of time. So that's gonna be delayed.
Yeah. But those were not accidental coughs just now, right?
No, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's they do that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
Ohio's got a fight now that their Kasich is gone. The phony that he was, so it looks like they're on the rebound. But he was trying to hamstring that state with everything he could do.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to see what other if there's any other things going on while we're going at it here that we need to get up here and talk about. I saw there's some stuff going on in New Zealand. I think they're really actually right now. New Zealand's plan to buy back illegal firearms angers gun advocates. That's on NPR. Let me see if I can throw that up. New Zealand.
Can you buy something back that you didn't buy in the first place?
Yeah, they're calling it a buyback.
Yeah.
How about we're buying it from you?
Yeah, they didn't sell it.
Or we're forcing you to sell it to us.
Forcing you to sell it to us. That's what it is, yeah.
So it says gun advocates in New Zealand are angry over a government plan aimed at buying back now illegal firearms and magazines that were outlawed after a mass shooting in March that killed dozens of worshippers at two mosques in Christchurch. Details of the plan were released on Thursday at a news conference in the capital, Wellington, after the country's gun laws were amended in April to ban most military-style semi-automatics magazines that hold more than 5 rounds of ammunition and gun parts such as special sights, silencers, because those things are evil.
5 rounds. Now they're after anything that holds more than 5 rounds. I hope people are paying attention.
Yeah.
That's revolvers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're doing this because if those folks hold on to those guns and then push back against this, then they don't get it. So they're going to try to buy whatever they can so they actually have it. If you're in New Zealand and you're crazy enough to sell your guns to these people, just go get the chains from them when you get that money, put the chains on, and, let them zombify you from now on, because that's pretty much where you're headed there. I think that's really ridiculous.
It's crazy. Did you see what Joe Biden just said about smart guns?
No. What is it?
Smart guns will save us from gang violence. And here's his quote. I just got it. Somebody just sent it to me right now.
Wow.
Former President Joe Biden is taking inspiration from Agent 007 and explaining his plan to curb gun violence. His quote is, "If I get elected president of the United States of America, with your help, if that happens, guns, we have the capacity now in a James Bond style to make sure no one can pull a trigger unless their DNA and fingerprint is on it. We have that capacity to do it now, and you know it." This guy's a dope.
Oh, Jesus.
And
remember, everybody, go out, get your double-barrel shotgun and shoot it into the air.
Yeah,
That's
make sure you
best way
see
to-
everybody's hair going by, too. 26-point lead he has right now.
Especially if the kids.
Yeah.
Sorry. He's just creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy Joe.
There's so many levels of insanity in that, in what he's saying. Yeah, no, smart guns aren't going to do anything. They're not going to have anything to do with gun violence. Oh, what's he going to do? Is he going to go, listen, criminals, gangsters, here's what we want you to do, yo. Bring your dumb guns to us, and we will exchange your dumb guns for smart guns.
The smart yeet gun.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell? What the hell is that? You know how you're going to do something about gang violence? You're going to let people in places like Chicago and LA legally defend themselves, get some ARs, and when those dudes are doing a drive-by, wet them up. And I think drive-bys might stop in that neighborhood.
It's it's amazing that the places where there are lots of firearms and people defending themselves, there's less crime. It's almost as if they don't want to break into a house where they know somebody owns a lot of guns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shocker, huh?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Wow. Hold on a second. Tyven Show says, no one's talking about the baseball player that got shot and how the guy got the gun and guns illegally down there. I think he's talking about...
Oh, this is in the Dominican Republic?
Yeah.
That's the Boston guy.
Yeah, so that's one of your dudes. Yeah, you want to take this one, Jared? I deliberately haven't been talking about this because I didn't want to go off, but go ahead.
So it's a cover-up, man. So it depends. There's all kinds of reports, but the most popular one is that David Ortiz may or may not have been involved with a girl who may or may not have been involved with a drug lord down there, and may or may not have purchased her an SUV, and that in turn the drug kingpin put a hit on him for what it equates to $7,400 over 8 people. So that's a couple $100 each.
Yeah.
So 2 Bobos on a motorcycle drove up. One got off and shot him in the lower back and tore him up pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've been watching the shenanigans, I mean, they have like 13 people under arrest, and the president of their nation came on the news yesterday saying that David Ortiz was not the target, and we're doing our best, blah blah blah. But they had the worst translation person ever to speak Spanish and English. You would think in a country that is pretty bilingual, they would have somebody better than they did. Yeah, they don't want any negativity. The DR right now, thanks to guys like David Ortiz and Pedro Martinez and Vlad Guerrero,
they're gods.
Tourism is their thing, and their biggest import is baseball. They don't want to ruin that.
So let me ask you: did anyone ask at that conference, like, what the hell is happening to all the Americans that are dying?
Just don't drink at the bars. Yeah, they don't want that. 12 people in a year and now they're looking at more that had passed similar ways, and now they're thinking that's a big.
What's really crazy is dudes are just going on vacation to the Dominican Republic and just dropping dead, and people still keep going. This is how I know people don't read the news.
I haven't heard about
for like $6.
Yeah, what are you saying? You didn't hear about this? Yeah.
I heard about Ortiz, but I didn't hear about what are people getting like poisoned or something?
Yeah, they're just dropping dead. They're dropping dead.
What?
Yeah, Americans.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, go ahead. This is you can get this one too,
so that
Jared.
People are dropping dead after drinking alcohol from the minibar, and they're all dying from enlarged hearts with fluid in their organs, and nobody knows what happened. It just happened to be a coincidence, but they're all drinking from the minibar.
Do they have anybody down there that could do like a proper blood screening, a toxicology report?
Americans
figure it out pretty quick.
Stop going to the Dominican Republic, yo.
Yeah. A lot of countries that hate us, guys.
Yeah.
It's true.
Stop going to the Dominican. I'm going to tell you, in the end, they're going to find out. Okay, I get it could be that there's something that's made illegally, bootlegged or whatever, and that's what's doing this. But I think it also could be someone is deliberately taking out Americans. How come we're not hearing about some Swedish dudes dying over there? How about some French?
Because they're smart enough not to go there.
Yeah. So I think
it's crazy.
Yeah, this is gonna get deep, but yes, like you said with the whole Big Papi David Ortiz thing, we're never gonna get the truth out of them because basically, I know you were you did it well, Jared. You said it like a cop. I appreciate that. David Ortiz was cheating on his wife. He has some mistresses. Why does he go to the Dominican Republic? If I go to the Dominican Republic without Lola. Okay, just, yeah. First of all, I'm not making it that far.
She's going to be the one hiring the hit squad.
Yeah.
Well, now she's not. She's in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my chance to make a run for it, but I don't want to die in my room like a lot of people. But, so he had like a mistress or something, like you said. He bought her some vehicle, but she may be her boyfriend because maybe she likes big rollers. And if you're a big roller in Dominican Republic, you're probably some kind of gangster or a politician or both. Those things are synonymous.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and they got into some kind of incident, right? There was like an actual fight in the streets, or someone ran the car off the road. It was like a whole thing, and then they try to hide it.
Yeah, and then she came up here because that night the Red Sox sent the plane down to basically rescue him because they thought that there was a concern that they were going to finish the job at the hospitals down there. So they went and took him back. He was in Mass General in Boston. They had to follow up a second surgery. And supposedly this same female ended up here and visiting and ran into his wife Tiffany and some other members of the family.
Went down.
A little argument happened, yeah. So it's... I don't know the man. I don't know people who were in his circle, but you hear things like while he was here the last year or so, him and his wife were separated. Maybe they had an agreement, but whatever. But now it's kind of blowing up on him.
Yeah. I think there's always something. I'm not saying that you can't just innocently wander into something, but there's more behind it. And then, like you said, if you're if you're like him and you're a big to the country or whatever, they're just going to hide everything. That's going to slow down justice, make a travesty out of it. Ultimately, he probably doesn't even want to press charges and continue this whole thing because if the press keeps digging, it's going to come up. Yeah.
Well, their press has already buried it, as far as they're concerned. They're saying that it was his buddy that he was with because they were wearing similar type clothing and it was a mistaken identity. That whole country knows who David Ortiz is. He is their baseball god. He is the country right now, so they knew who he was. But I don't want to, he's done a hell of a lot of, just here in Massachusetts, he's done a hell of a lot of good work with kids and his charity work here just in this state is ridiculous. I know he does it back home too. So, he's, still does a lot of good. He just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah,
like.
Absolutely. Listen, these two things can go together. You can be a good guy, but you can have very low schlong control. This could happen.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's just be honest about it. Come on now.
You can't keep the yeet in your pants.
Yeah. You could be a good dude and you just... You don't.
It's true.
Yeah, you can't control the nether regions. It happens. You should get older and get wiser and lock it down, or don't ever get married.
Yeah, or hang around with Bob Kraft.
Okay. What else? She's just gonna wind up in a video somewhere. Okay, so Redneck Sniper gave us $5. He says to invade America would prove most difficult because behind every blade of grass would be an American with a yeet cannon. You
God, could you imagine speeches today?
And he says this quote is from Admiral Yamamoto. Okay, you know what, Redneck Sniper, you're crazy. I was reading that all seriously, and then I was like, "Damn, yeet cannon! I already said it. Too late." Okay, fine, you got me. Yeah. So let's see. What was here? People were talking about the smart gun situation is so stupid. That's just really a dumb idea that we are. I could tell you, don't believe. Don't. This whole smart gun situation is a really stupid, dumb thing that people are trying to get into, but they're going to keep pushing it.
Oh yeah, because it's going to make guns. It's basically going to make them unaffordable for anybody. They're going to take the whole class of citizens that can't afford them, take them right out of the picture.
Right. But then also, let's say that these things work all the time. What else is the government going to do with this? Right now in our phones, so it used to be in your phone, you could actually go in and turn off that, like the GPS and stuff like that. No more.
Right.
That doesn't exist. So you make smart guns, what else are they going to go do with that thing? What are they going to put in there that they're going to go, yep, this has to be in there, we have to be able to do this or that to it? I'm sorry, I don't want that. And I think you can make it all you want to. I don't like the idea of there's laws out there that if a company manufactures one, then there's certain states like New Jersey that have laws like, okay, now everyone's going to have to buy that, right? But I don't think that people are really going to go this route anyway, so it's a waste of time.
Alexa, double tap center mass.
Yeah. What do you do if your smart gun doesn't work and allow you to save your own life? Who sues
the problem
after
is
that?
The problem is when you say that and then she says that's a 99-cent charge. Do you want to make that purchase?
Yeah. Yeah. So stupid. Red Bear says rail against smart guns as racist, classist, ableist, etc. It's a really stupid idea, but I guess they'll keep going that route. Listen, I like tech and all that kind of stuff just like anyone else. But this is one thing. I want the things that protect me, I want them to be dumb things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. When seconds count, the last thing you want to worry about is did I charge my handgun,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the battery, all kinds of stuff's going to go wrong with that, man. So let's see what's...
And then the criminals aren't going to buy them anyway. It's just something they're going to put on the law-abiding people, You can't. The gangs all across the country aren't going to say, no, dog, we need that smart yeet.
Yeah, how do you convince the criminals to get the smart gun? The criminals are not this dumb. They're not this stupid. Oh, yes, you came here to get the smart click. Yes, I'm in one of those gangs, Joe Biden said, save the people. You want to save the people, take out the gangs.
Yeah, enforce the laws that are already there.
Take out the gangs. Yes, exactly. Redneck Sniper. Hold on. I'm going to read what Redneck... I already put it up. Okay, let's see. I was going to pre-read it. He says, okay, I saw that on a meme. I spit out my drink. Okay. It was good. It's a good one. We're going to get really sick and tired of the yeet jokes. I am pretty close to that.
Patton's quote about the Garand, M1 Garand being the most amazing weapon ever devised. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it was about a yeet cannon. It wasn't about the Garand.
Yeah.
Just ahead of his time.
Yeah, he just wasn't. He didn't know yet. Yeet cannon was coming out.
Yeah. Okay, so hold on a second here. Tyven Show says, Hank, rumor for years that Glock put RFID tags in the plastic lowers to be tracked. Yeah, but once... Huh?
No, there's nothing in them.
Yeah, once they get hit by EMP, then it doesn't matter anyway.
Right.
So that's what I have to say about that. Disciple gave us $5. He says, will you be talking about what's happening to Forge from Freedom? Yeah, so what I hear from Forge from Freedom is that they got their well, I think they put it out before that the PayPal was shut down. So now the Amazon store is shut down. So that stuff's going on. I'm looking into all that stuff right now, guys. That's what I could tell you about that. If you want to find out what's going on, I suggest you go to Forge from Freedom on social media. You could see that. I think that's a video that Yankee Marshall also made last night. So you guys can go check that out and see what's going on there. And we'll have some more about that to come in the future here. Let me see what other things going on. I had some Florida news, man. I don't know, do you guys get crazy ass news in Massachusetts? You probably do.
We have a channel called WAF, and it's 107.3, and they have a segment on a morning show. It's called Florida, Not Like the Rest of Us.
Oh, wait. Okay.
Because there's some stories that come out of your state that either happens in places like Florida or Germany. They're just so whacked. Mm-hmm. Like the chicken nugget 911 call from McDonald's and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. Oh, see, I was asking you if in Massachusetts you guys have your own crazy people news, but you went to Florida.
Oh no, we have a ton of it, but some of the stuff that comes out of there makes us smile.
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna put this up here for a second here. So here we go. Florida City pays hackers $600K in Bitcoin to get computer systems back. Oh yes, this is a crazy city here. How do these people even get $600,000? So a small city in Florida has agreed to pay nearly $600,000 in Bitcoin ransom to hackers who took control of its computer systems in a ransomware attack, according to reports. The Riviera Beach City Council on Monday unanimously approved its insurance carrier to pay 65 Bitcoin valued at about $592,000 in hopes of regaining full access to its network.
That's insane.
What the hell?
For $600,000, I can rewire your whole city's network and redo all new computers and get you everything brand new. and then give you actual security that isn't going to be ransomwared.
Yeah. The attack 2 weeks
That's crazy.
This is so insane. The attack 2 weeks ago wiped out the city's entire computer system. The city council was left without email and phone service. Direct deposit paychecks had to be hand delivered. And instead, the police department had to change over to paper tickets for traffic citations. The police and fire departments also had to write down 911 calls, according to South Florida Sentinel. They receive about 280 calls a day. Yeah, how about reboot the whole system, or just start like what the hell's going on?
Start fresh.
Yeah,
this was actually this was like 10 years ago. Like the ransomware attacks on municipalities was I thought it was over 5 years ago. Apparently not.
Can you believe could you imagine being the person that like fell for the ransomware? Like, oh, Steve in accounting, he was the one that clicked on this link saying, hi Steve, I have this thing for you. Click here to sign in.
Yeah.
You're like, or if it's worse, like see Britney Spears lose her mind.
Yeah.
One guy clicked on it.
Yeah. Okay, so Tyvin's saying, remember, Bitcoin is not a federal currency and federal charges can't be applied. It's not a blackmail. So I'm not sure what Tyvin's trying to say.
The people that are ransoming them at the moment are not even in the United States.
Yeah.
So, and wherever they are, they're not going to get extradited, even if they were caught. They're probably in like India or somewhere in Africa, and
maybe I can help them, because I have several times now gotten emails where I have won $7 trillion in Nigerian money. So maybe I can help them.
They're going to get hit. When this news gets out there, every hacker is going to be Babyface is tonight. While he's playing video games, he's going to be trying to hack them.
That's why you don't deal with terrorists. That's why you don't pay the trolls, because they're just going to be like, yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah. How about you spend a fraction of that money to get someone to hack the Bitcoin? Well, you can't hack the Bitcoin. It's not that easy to hack it.
No, otherwise it would have been done by now.
Yeah, Bitcoin is not even going to help you with that deal, right? To track those dudes. I would just say, forget it, man. Let's just put the city back to the Stone Age until we get it fixed. I'm not giving up.
I mean, they've already
whose
been there
money
for like
is
a week
that?
or two, yeah.
Yeah, whose money is that?
Yours, theirs, the city's?
I know.
Taxpayers, man.
Yeah.
Taxpayers, exactly.
Well, let me tell you something. You can look this up. I lived in West Palm Beach. I didn't live in Riviera Beach for a good reason. That is ghetto ass. Riviera
Seriously?
Beach. Yeah, it's a very dangerous place. I could tell you, like, there was a story one time in Riviera Beach where this cop pulled the guy over. The guy got out of his car with his AK, started shooting at the cruiser, and the cop had to retreat. That's how crazy. God. That's how crazy that place is. It's like the other side of the tracks, unfortunately. So how the hell they have $600,000 to do that? And they can't clean up what the hell's going on in Riviera Beach. There's some kind of, I don't really believe all of this. I think this story needs to be looked into deeper. There's some kind of serious corruption here, and it's probably someone inside of the organization that's doing that set them up for that.
To it.
Yeah.
Well, they said it was an insurance payment, right? So that money's not theirs yet. So
yeah,
they'll be paying. They'll have higher rates for the next 50 years.
Yeah. John Blaze gave us a couple of bucks. He says, "Keep up the good work, guys. Thanks. Thanks a lot." S-Man 7290 says, "Damn, we got G&G."
Hey man, how you doing?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, bud.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I've been hearing about you for a while, man. But I think when I met you at NRA. Is that the first time? You could tell me if not. I have a horrible memory.
It is. It's the first time.
Oh, okay. All right. See, you could have told me you met me before, but you could have ransomed me. You could have blackmailed me right there, but you didn't do it.
Hey, how much Bitcoin you got?
Yeah.
No, man. I'm still. I don't. It's tough for me to, like, when I get recognized. It's just the oddest thing, because I don't. Mm-hmm. I do my research and I put it out, and that's kind of where I stop. I don't even think that people watch, you know what I mean? So when I get people who stop me and say, "Hey man, you do a hell of a job," or even the firearms instructor class I'm in right now, where there's a couple of guys that watch my stuff, and it's odd, and I'm very grateful, I'm very humbled, and I just hope that it continues to go up.
Yeah. It's an awesome thing, but it's also it's a very tough deal, and I'll tell you why it's a tough deal. Because you have a responsibility to those people, and you have to take that responsibility serious. Like, I think personally, I'm constantly going through this kind of thing where I realize, like, man, I have to make sure that I don't mess these guys up, which anything could happen, right? But there's people who believe in you, and they're spending time. Like, these guys are spending 2 hours hanging out with us and listening to us and all this kind of stuff, contributing money to the cause here of what we're doing. If we tell them, hey, check out this GoFundMe or do this thing or that thing, you know, a lot of times they take us for our word of what we say about lots of stuff when we talk about guns or anything that it is. And that's a tough thing to deal with. You know, it's easy to say, hey, I'm not responsible for what you buy. I try to tell people don't buy stuff because I'm showing it to you. We just like to, you know, I like guns, so I'm going to show as many guns as I can show and all that and have fun with it. But it's tough. Do you feel that way?
Absolutely, especially when you're dealing with laws from other states. Like when I'm doing laws or bills in California, I got to be on point because it's very easy for somebody to call me out and say, dude, I live here, you're wrong. So what people see is like a 3 to 5 minute video. I'm spending hours on that, making phone calls to California, trying to get laws, bills, and it's tough. And as you know, man, it's easily a full-time job, but if it paid full-time, I'd be doing it. But it's definitely morphed into a full-time gig for me that I don't get to do full-time. So I try to be the first cat out there with the news. I try to be the one who's leading the charge to get a hold of politicians who are doing the wrong thing. And, you know, sometimes I can do it ahead of, days ahead before somebody else, but it's a never-ending battle.
Yeah. Hopefully, the folks out there support you enough that maybe you could. I don't know if that's the plan. I don't know if you're like trying to retire first, and do you even have a plan there, man?
Dude, if I could, like, if the YouTube money gods ascended on me tonight, I would quit my job tomorrow morning.
Well, okay,
because I would much rather
Good luck with
do
that.
what I. I mean, if you look at it, just the country as a whole, there's a lot of us that have a side gig that we are much more passionate about. I'm much more passionate about the Second Amendment, than I am about enforcing speed and stuff, or listening to stuff that I have to listen to. Where I would much rather do this, but right now, today, it's not something I can do full time. Hopefully, it will be.
So if Babyface and I are racing through Massachusetts and we get tickets, do we just call you up?
We can talk.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go racing through. Trying to avoid getting in trouble. You will get. Jared won't be on duty.
No.
He'll be like, Hank Strange, never heard of him. I don't know who that. Lock him up. Lock him up.
New phone. Who this?
See, look, he's up on that one. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not that old, man.
SoCal Gunner gave us some money here. He says, remember to support those that are working hard to support the 2A everywhere. True. There's lots of people doing lots of things, and I don't think you should expect everyone to do the same exact thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Jim Nugent also, he gave us $20. He says, thanks to all of you for helping us, keeping us informed. Keep up the good work. Thanks. We try. I try. A lot of times I mess up stuff. What was it? What did I do the other day? I called something to do with the Dallas guy. Oh, baklava. Yeah. So the guy had a balaclava. Yeah, he had a
balaclava.
Yeah. So I misinformed the people.
Had some delicious baked goods with him.
Yeah. Wearing a baklava. And Babyface is like, what? He's wearing a what? Yeah, I am dyslexic, so, I mean, that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. I see here's the thing that happens to me. I see what I want to see. I don't know if that happens to anyone else. It helps make me creative, but I see words that I want to see. And then I have to go back over it. Like, oh, wait a second.
I can use some sweets right now.
Yeah. Let's see. DC2 Megaboo said, thumbs up to everyone. Tonight's show is awesome. There's lots of people sending you love out here, Jared. I don't know if you could see the chat. Do you want to shout out anyone, man? Because I know there's lots of people that probably came over here because you're here. Do you see any folks out there that support you that you want to shout out? I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but
yeah, man, Armory and Axes, he's a fan of mine. I love seeing him on here. There's a couple guys on here that I recognize. I am not scrolling through the chat as we speak, so I can go back to it. But I'm so thankful for anybody who watches anything I do. It's just like I said before, it's extremely humbling, and I'm happy that you guys trust enough in me to get your news from me from the Second Amendment, and I hope that you continue, because we have not seen the end of it. It's only going to pick up. The attack on our Second Amendment will never end until we stop it ourselves. So thank you all. It means so much to me just to be able to just to go to NRA to meet you, man. I mean, I watched you before I got on this thing. So
yeah,
when I got to meet
man.
people
Thanks.
who I looked up, and you guys inspired me to do it. So thank you. You've had a lot to do in this too, man.
That's crazy to think that you were telling me that because I remember I'd say that to Mac all the time. I'm like, dude, I've been watching your stuff before I ever did this, so that's cool. And when we were at NRA, you came up and spoke to me, which is, that's awesome, man. I think that this is the thing about people who can get along and actually deal with each other. It takes some humility, and I think you're a humble guy, and that's a good thing. I don't know if you think that's like a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing that I see how seriously you take everything. And like the fact that you're like, hey, I'm gonna go talk to you, and be open. I thought that was cool, so I appreciate that.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, thanks for talking to me. Like you guys, the big cats. You guys have been on.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm definitely not one of the big cats, but well, I'm big. I'm big. Physically, I am big. Yes.
But like when I went up and I met you for the first time, and I did the gun collective event, and I met
cool.
Tim and all them for the first time, and Mike, and when they told me that they watch my stuff, so it's humbling,
Yeah.
So keep doing what you're doing, because you inspire clowns like me to get into this. So
yeah, it's a good thing, man. I think there's space for everyone to do something here. Everyone can contribute something to it, and I really hope everyone tries to contribute to what's going on here. And I know how difficult it is to do this, especially like people don't believe this. If you started 3 years ago, if you started yesterday, it's next to impossible. If you started 3 years ago, it's incredibly difficult. Every
Thanks for the confidence, Hank.
Well, I'm just saying, it's tough, man. It's a tough thing, and people should respect the guys that do stick in and do all that kind of stuff, Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely. I'm not gonna lie. There are times where I've walked away for like 3 or 4 days because mentally it had me ready to just jump off a bridge or something. But
yeah,
it's tough, man. It's
Yeah.
tough to keep into it because there's more against you than there are for you, especially on this certain platforms.
Yeah.
So it's you got to support those who are doing it for you.
Yeah, let me do. Greg98K says I want baklava AR lowers now. Okay, babyface, get on that. Get on that, babyface. Let's see. Blue Falcon has got to be one of your fans because he's shouting you out. He says, "Okay, so go ahead and give him a shout out here." I don't know. You do live stuff, right?
Every now and then, not
Okay.
as much as I'd like to, just because my schedule's all over the map. But
Yeah.
man. Hey, Blue Falcon, man, thank you very much. I appreciate you more than you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we want to show some Gorn here before we wrap this up? I'm sure everyone's got. I know you're gonna have to show some Gorn, man. We can't have you on and not show it. You gotta show us something.
All right, so this is my the only thing I got out right now. I built this for Father's Day. This was how I spent my dad's day. This is a if I can get on the camera.
I like the color.
7.5 inch OD green AR pistol with the new SD.
Like, is there such a thing as SBRs anymore?
So it kicks fireballs, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
7.5.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a beast, and this is a company, Ceratec, who is very little known. Thank you for sending something to Massachusetts. Yeah, that was my toy I built this week.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Babyface, you got something there you want to throw up, or you want to...
I got my Glock 21 sitting in front of me.
Silencer Co., right? Silencer Co.?
Yeah, it's the 45 Silencer Co.
Okay.
Maybe I'll be a felon if Trump has his way. I'll just instantly overnight be a suppressor felon. But for now, I legally own my silencers. But that's pretty much the only thing that I have sitting around.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll throw up something here. I got a couple of things here probably that I could go. Let me see. What do I want to... Okay, so this is something that Babyface and I were working on today. I'll throw up some pictures of this. So this is a 22. This is the Defiance DMK 22. So basically 22 AR-15, but it's all aluminum. And you guys will notice something. It had like a regular 22 barrel in there. It's a Ruger 1022 barrel, so you could change it. But if you look in there, That is an integrally suppressed barrel that's in this bad boy now. And
It is super quiet.
Yeah, I'm going to throw up some stuff. It's from Elevated Science, so shout out to those guys. Elevated Science, we'll have them on here pretty soon. But yes, lots of awesomeness coming out in that. I love integrally suppressed. I like 22s. Yeah, I don't know. Why are you laughing?
What's a suppressor?
Huh?
We don't have those here.
Oh, you guys can't. Oh, man.
No.
So sad.
Yeah.
It's so
I
sad.
can't.
It's my addiction.
Not in Massachusetts.
Any
amazing.
SBSs or SBRs?
Again, certain ways, yes. So like, you can make an SBR, you have to send it out and form for it and all that crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
My personal favorite, my crank, my SBR crank.
Okay.
Freedom.
Yeah.
This is my baby.
Yeah, that is his baby. Right after neck bone comes that crank.
Yep, crank
And
is
then-
second.
and then-
Marley.
yeah.
Marley might be third.
Yeah, fiance next. Oh boy. Yeah. Oh, I'm pretty sure she's aware of that. Let's see. Okay, so you know what? I think we're over the 9 o'clock hour. Let's give Jared a chance here to shout out and let everyone know who's following. I think we're trying to get him to 100,000. Let's see him get to 100,000. I would like that. So, what can the people do out there to follow you or support you, Jared?
Awesome. Thanks, man. So obviously, I'm on YouTube. That's where all of us need to be. It's just guns and gadgets. I'm also on all the major stuff, Instagram, Facebook. I do Twitter rarely, gun streamer, YouTube, and recently just got up on BitChute. But anything that's coming down the pike for the Second Amendment, my intent is to have it for you on my channel, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. Yeah, we do have some good stories every now and then. But you're going to find it on my channel. My tagline is, it's your source for Second Amendment news. So chances are, if it's happening, you're going to find it on my show.
Yeah, absolutely. So go check those out. Let's see. Babyface P, what about you?
Babyface P on YouTube, baby_face P on Instagram. I now have a Facebook page for Babyface P. I'll try to start using it. I'll try to get it into my rotation.
Mm-hmm.
New video should be coming out. I said tonight. It'll probably be late tonight. So tomorrow, check back in on riveting together an AK receiver. So if you guys want to see that, the receiver was bent on the last video. So now we're going to rivet the trunnions in. So that'll be coming out hopefully tonight, tomorrow, sometime soon.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I think so far as 1639, before we go here, I think we're going to get it to like the 50,000 mark probably.
Good.
That's going to happen soon. I just want to encourage everyone to support the fight everywhere that you can, okay? Because it's out there, and there's lots of people fighting it.
Also, if you do look, and if you're thinking about making a donation, whether it's $5, $20, whatever you can do, if you look and it says 50,000 and $10, still give them that coin, because trust me when I tell you, the lawsuit's going to cost more than $50K.
Yeah.
So if the more they can get, the merrier. Join those other agencies that we spoke about earlier. GOA, Firearms Policy Coalition, Second Amendment Foundation. There's a ton of great entities out there. Don't give up. There's still hope.
Yeah, do what you can to help out. I know not everyone could do the same thing, and I don't want people to be discouraged because they can't give money and stuff like that. I think do what you can to help out. If it's just going on someone's social media, following them, or thumbs-upping something, or sharing what they're doing, or going on the social media of our elected officials and nicely, don't get crazy on their social media because it could be used against you.
You'll be red flagged.
Yeah. So go there nicely and encourage them to do stuff. Try to vote. Encourage people to vote, especially locally. I think it's really important to make sure you know who your local representatives are and they know who you are and vote for them and all that kind of stuff. I think those are really big, important things here. I don't know if Patrick, you got anything you want to add here before we go? What about you, Jared?
I'm good.
No, just thank you. I appreciate
welcome,
the opportunity, man, to hang out with you, man.
Yeah, I have to get you to come back because I feel like we really didn't talk about as much stuff as we could have gotten into. So maybe we need to figure out a way, if you like, when you have time, come back and drop some knowledge on us.
Absolutely, brother. I look forward to it.
Okay, awesome. Thanks a lot. All right, guys. Thanks so much to you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. I think, like I said, tomorrow, Greg Pruitt. Go check out his video that he has where he's talking to Rubio. I think you're going to find it very interesting. and he's going to discuss that tomorrow. He might have some other surprises for you guys of what he got up to while he was there in Washington, D.C. Anything could have happened there. And he's going to talk about that tomorrow. So we'll be here talking about that. By the way, Walter is back in the United States of America. I did talk to him. He's back in the United States of America. I was trying to get them to check his papers at immigration, maybe deport him a little bit, but I couldn't make it happen. So he's back. We'll probably get him back here next week. He's resting. So check him out on social media and stuff like that. All right, we're out of here, guys. See ya. Peace.
Take it easy, fellas.
We're out. We're out.